boys, welcome back to a brand new video, and girls, don't think I forgot about that. And today, we're back with a brand new video where we are going to be going over what, to me, these are my personal ones, and it's going to include bang for buck, best drift cars in the game for beginners, just like all around, and they're all rear wheel drive also, so don't worry about that. But I'm not going to just be going off like the known best drift cars. From all the ones I've drifted, based on their prices and stuff, I've compiled a list of 5 that I believe are the best ones in the entire game. Now this one right here, I do want to just make a clear point. This is my favorite drift car in the entire game, but since it is a car pass car, meaning you have to have the car pass in order to own it, I'm not actually going to count it just because then some people watching the video won't be able to go ahead and buy it. But that being said, this is the only one like that, so let's get into our number 5 spot and let's head to the festival to take a peek at her. You know, we have to do the super wheel spins first. Nothing nice. And again, like really nothing. Okay, so at our number 5 spot, I don't think anyone would have really seen this coming, but we have the E63 by Mercedes. And whether you're playing on wheel or controller, this car is unbelievable. It handles super well. We're gonna hop in and take a look, but it's fully rear wheel drive. Again, like I said, all these cars are rear wheel drive, and I want to take a peek at the auction house to show you how much it is too. This one's a little on the pricier end, thus putting in the number 5 spot. So don't be fooled. I do want to show you that it is actually the AMG one here, but this car is pretty hefty, around 2.7 million, 2.1 million. You could get it for cheaper, absolutely, but let me show you why this car is so good. Now, I do want you guys to keep in mind that while I'm showing these cars off, just because I might not be doing them justice right now, most of these have been tried out by Goosiest with his own tune given, but he's also agreed like some of these cars are good at drifting. Obviously, I'm not the best at drifting, so I'm not going to be giving off the best demonstration here, but I'm certain that these cars on this list are accurate, the best bang for your buck as well, except for like 2.7 million, I suppose. But as you can see, this one's just very easy to control, especially for a rear wheel drive car. It kind of almost feels all wheel drive. I don't know if that makes any sense. And it keeps a pretty high top speed. You can rev it pretty high up in the, like, I want to say like 90 to 100 miles per hour. And we're even like on a straightaway here. It's still drifting side to side pretty well. Very controllable. And a lot of power, which I personally like for drifting. I know some people don't really, but that's why this is going to put it up in my number 5 spot at such a hefty price point. But let's get to our next one, boys. At our next one, we have the 2003 Fairlady Z, obviously Drift King's car. And this car is absolutely on the cheaper side of things in this game. I think it's definitely under 100,000, and it drifts, if not better, the same, if not better than the one that we just showed you guys. Now, it does slip out a little bit more, but that's just because the car doesn't weigh nearly as much, but it holds like almost as much horsepower as that Mercedes did. I don't know. This car, especially when I'm playing on wheel, it can handle very slow and like tight corner drifts, but it can also like go pretty fast. We're only in gear 4 right now. As you can see, we're kind of flying. This is a very good score for this drift zone. Anyways, this car, without a doubt, Drift King had good taste in it. And it looks gorgeous too. Like, who doesn't love the 350Z, right? Honestly, under 100K, probably one of our best options on this list. But there are still cars that handle a little bit better than it. So let's move on to those ones. So at number 3, I know some of you guys knew this was coming. Obviously, it had to be coming at some point in this video. I sing this car's praises all the time. I'm gonna be honest, on wheel it feels a little bit weird, but this car is amazing at drifting. The only reason it's not a number 1 spot is because it's like 7 million credits, which sucks, but it is honestly worth it because I want to say this is probably the best handling drift car in the entire game. I know you guys are gonna dispute it in the comments, that's fine. Just from my opinion, easily the best. It's just so expensive. But the other thing about this car is you just really can't beat that sound either. I think that's one of the best sounding cars in the entire game. And then yeah, it just handles so well. I know when Goose was playing this game a ton, this was his go-to car. He'd bring it out. Obviously, everyone all over the internet, big fan of it. Initial D did this car huge favors. So obviously that's why it costs so much, because at the end of the day, it's not actually that rare. I think most people watching this video at some point have gotten it out of a wheel spin, and the only reason it runs up 7 million in the auction house is because of the TV show, and it drifts so well that people just want as many of these as possible, even though it's not worth that. Realistically, this car shouldn't go for more than 2 million in the auction house, but it holds a constant like 5, 6, 7 million. Anyways, I'm a huge fan of this car. I'd put it at number 1 if it wasn't so expensive, but unfortunately is, so we're gonna have to leave it there for now. Maybe we'll move it up the list if the price drops eventually, but let's get to the number 2 spot. Now at number 2, this again, amazing drift car, just a little bit expensive, but you don't have to pay for it. This is a barn find car, so that means technically you can get it for free. So that's why I'm not really counting it in the same, like, is it an expensive car? And that's why it's a number 2 spot, because it's amazing at drifting and you can actually get this car for free. Now, this is another one of Goosiest's favorite cars. Every time I say that, I gotta fix the subtitles. They don't like his name. But it sounds amazing, drifts amazing. I like to put a bit extra power in mine because, I don't know, I just like powerful cars when I drift. The more horsepower, the better. Goose doesn't like that I do that. But it handles amazingly. I know it looks a little jerky. I'm playing on the controller at the moment, but all these cars also work super well on the wheel. You're gonna be able to handle them no problem. I don't know, this car's so incredibly smooth. I'd never get tired of driving this thing. But if you're just looking to get into drifting or like you just started learning, this is gonna be your car for sure. Very easy to handle. It doesn't want to kick out to either side very much at all. Very easy to tune as well. I fully recommend doing the barn finds, getting this car, or if you have the funds, purchase one for yourself. But very strong number 2 spot. Let's see number 1 though. Now at number 1, I might get a little bit of hate for this, but this is a $16,000 car, which you just can't beat. And this actually is the car where I have my highest skill point chain because of how well it drifts. First of all, it looks insane. This is a crazy looking car. Like, just the body kit and customizations you can have for it blow my mind, and it's the smoothest. I feel like I've said that about every single car, but this one really is. Very hard to spin out in this one. Change drifts so well, and then tandems. If you want to tandem with people, this is the car you should be using. It's so easy to control, does exactly what you want it to do all the time. I'm going off the road a little bit as I say that. But if I'm being honest, definitely one of my... Look at me. See, I told you I wasn't going to show it off well. But this car does have one of my highest drift chains in the entire game. I think across Forza in general, even better in Horizon 5. And it's so cheap. You definitely probably have one of these in your garage if you've been playing Forza for a little while. But if you don't, absolutely go pick this up. It's very easy to tune. Pretty much as long as you put the camber and toe all the way out, you're gonna be drifting this thing no problem. Anyways, boys, that's gonna do it for our video. So if you made it through to the end, let me know down below so I can give you a heart. As always, we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.